right near new highs. Stock getting a price target hike today. Joining us now is the analyst who made that call, Guggenheim's Michael Morris, boosting his price target on Netflix to 700. It had been 600. Michael, it's good to have you. What is giving you the confidence to make a price hike like that? Especially, Netflix can be notoriously volatile around its earnings print.
That's absolutely an accurate statement. It's very hard to predict the quarters, especially around the company's most important metric for sentiment, which is member trends. If you think about a business with 260 million global members, paying members right now, and a 1 or 2 million net add change can impact sentiment in the short term, it is very difficult to predict around the quarters. But you ask me about my confidence about the longer term prospects for the company, which are the reason that we raised our price target. And that's really around two things. Number one, we think there continues to be a tremendous amount of addressable market opportunity in the U.S., but really outside the U.S. for membership growth over time. And number two, we think as the company continues to widen its lead among streaming competition, they're able to better target their investment dollars into areas that drive adoption of the service. So we really like where they are on the so-called virtuous cycle, even now after the success that the company has had over the last number of years.
And you seem to also believe that total addressable market is going to expand. You mentioned it briefly, but as a result of broadband becoming more available in some of these parts of the world, essentially, I guess, where it has not been available previously.
That's a part of it. Certainly, I think when I look at a growth opportunity into 600 or 700 million broadband homes worldwide and the 260 million that current members that I referenced, it's more about penetrating the broadband households that currently exist. But it shouldn't be lost that there are a couple of other expanders there. One is that broadband availability does continue to also grow on a worldwide basis. And two, we're talking about broadband households, right? Like as we think about sitting at home watching Netflix with our broadband subscription. But as you grow globally, especially in emerging market economies, it's really about transaction and broadband enabled smartphones as well. So that addressable market, I would argue, is even bigger than that 600 to 700 million household that we talk about right now.
Yeah, we tend to focus long-term here, but also short-term on occasion, particularly when there could be a lot of price movement around an earnings print such as Netflix's. Do you think they're going to still benefit from the crackdown on password sharing, or has that run its course?
So I think there is still some benefit there. They implemented policies beginning in the second quarter of 2023. And that has really been a rolling implementation. So it wasn't a flip a switch and all at once the account base was impacted. So that rolling impact, whether by market or by type of customer, they've tried to be selective about when they've put the policies in place, is still ongoing. But I do believe it's in the latter stages. At the same time, I don't want to lose sight of that core growth. I think that the genre expansion that the company is doing on the content side is continuing to fuel demand in the U.S., the most mature economy. The data that we look at indicates that the first quarter of 2024 was particularly strong in the U.S., but it also will feed into that growth opportunity outside the U.S. So the password crackdown, certainly a benefit to the company, and I think benefited member growth, but we think that the core growth is still the story going forward from here.
All right, Michael, appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you for having me.